that night, a cop pulled a gun on me.
Really?
Yeah. And
I know it's a scary experience.
It was a very scary experience because my hands were on the wheel. He's like, put your hands on the wheel. And he had the gun pointed. And then the other cop was like looking in my car. And it was really a scary experience. And I was really pissed off. And I went to work the next day. And I was like, y'all can't believe, like, I got pulled over and I had a gun pointed at me.
Hey everyone, this is Costa Conversations. My name is Atlas, and I'm here with SweetieC and Crystal. Super excited to talk to them about their 2A journey. They got started kind of recently, and they've been documenting it on their own YouTube series. So make sure to check them out. They're pretty cool. And yeah, let's talk. So can we just who's SweetieC? Who's Crystal? What are we doing?
I'm SweetieC.
And I'm Crystal.
Okay, and just let's talk about it a little bit. Why did we get started in guns, and where are we going? Just because, why guns?
Exactly. Why firearms?
Yeah.
Well, I've never shot a firearm before, so this is new to me. And I decided to join a gun club to basically help me to learn how to use my firearm safely and correctly. Because it's kind of hard, just to link up with individuals, asking them to come show you how to clean your gun or how to shoot. So I just decided to go through a more. I decided I wanted to work with people who are more familiar with firearms. That's what I guess.
Absolutely.
I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a fantastic idea. First of all, just because every once in a while, I'll put it this way: I've had so many. Friends and family members tell me like, oh yeah, I've shot before, or oh yeah, I have a gun. And it's like, okay, well, do you have any knowledge? Have you actually been able to, learn how to actually operate the firearm? And is your knowledge actually, quality versus just having the knowledge? Because there's a lot of people who will, they're like, yeah, I've been shooting for a long time, but they do things that are unsafe. And it's like, have you been shooting for a long time? Because that'll get you killed. Like, don't do that.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to get killed out here. I just want to learn how to I just want to defend myself and be safe while defending myself.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, talk a little bit about the YouTube channel and kind of why that got started. Why are you documenting? If most people just go shoot, they don't record it. Let's talk about that. Both of y'all can answer.
Well, as for Crystal, why did you choose to shoot?
I've always been into guns. My entire life, I was the weird kid in class, be drawing guns on the paper. So I've always been into guns. Because like my family is military, and so I was in ROTC in college. So I got to shoot M16s, and I was like, oh wow. Man. So I've just always been into it. But what really got me into it was all this nonsense going on in the world. It's all about how I need to be able to protect myself because ain't nobody gonna come protect me. So I need to do it for myself. But I've always been into guns, so I know a little bit about them thanks to the mini military. But that's how I got started. I just always been into them.
That's awesome.
And the way we linked up is we went to Henry Johnson's gun club range. And we actually happened to go at the same. Well, yeah, we happened to go the same day, and it was our first time going. And you know how the range is out there. We talk to each other, we communicate. Hey, you know how to use a firearm? What type of firearm do you have? And she was just really welcoming and basically invited me to go shoot with her at different ranges. And then I was like, well, since you invited me, I got a channel. Why don't I just start vlogging our experience?
Okay, so you've had a channel way before you started shooting.
Yes.
So were you vlogging like everyday stuff, or did you just have it up? Like what was going on with it before?
Well, I was doing more video reactions and commentary, but I've always wanted to vlog. I just never really knew exactly what I wanted to vlog about.
Sure. I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
You do.
Yeah.
And
appreciate that.
I just decided to, just, hey, if we're going to be going to the ranges together, why don't I just bring my camera with me?
And got me tagging along, being in videos.
Hey, I mean, you're both here right now. We're talking about it, and that's pretty cool. Now, I've seen some of your stuff. You guys kind of go a distance to go, I guess, hunt down like gun stores and ranges and stuff and go to different events. Like, what's all that about?
Well, we're actually just traveling. Like, we have reason, like when we go to Houston, it was specifically to go to Stephanie's events
that she be having.
And, with Henry Johnson's club recently kind of starting up, there wasn't a lot of events going on here in DFW. So we just said, hey, let's just go to Houston. And then I just brought my camera along.
Okay.
Now, as far as when we travel to Texarkana, it's because we're actually going to Texarkana. We find gun ranges where we're at to go shoot.
Okay, so you're traveling around. You go to the different restaurants. You go to the different ranges. A taste of this, a taste of that.
We go to different ranges right here in the DFW area.
Yeah.
It's like we just like to see different ranges because each range has something different, and it's just amazing. And the best one I've been to, sadly to say, is actually in Texarkana, because they have the range where the when you're shooting it can come towards you as if the person is running. So you can keep shooting. I have not seen that here anywhere in the DFW.
Yeah. Somebody was actually telling me something about that, and they were like, "Oh, does your range have those things? That would be so cool." And I was like, "No." I mean, next time y'all go out there, let me know. I'm kind of interested in that. So
yeah,
sounds real cool.
Definitely.
Yeah,
it's dope.
Yeah,
it's definitely dope.
Yeah.
And really, it kind of helps you be more comfortable with using your firearms by visiting different ranges, because it's not the same thing you're seeing all the time. It's kind of like
So
and these ranges have different rules. The same for safety rules within each range. As his own said, like some you gotta clean up your own brass, some you don't have to.
Right.
It's just different things.
Yeah, I've noticed that, and I've been to maybe just a handful of ranges. I don't range hop like y'all, but I'm not a connoisseur. That said, I mean I've been to a few different ones, and it's like, oh yeah, you can pick up the brass, don't pick up the brass. Some just has brass all over the place, so it's like, well, how do I even know where my brass is? Like, just leave it. Oh yeah, somewhere like just pick up your shells for your shotguns, and it's like, okay, all right, I don't know what's going on. So that sounds really cool, and I'm glad that y'all are getting to experience that, because I feel like there's a lot of folks, especially I would say Black folks, who don't really get to experience like the full range of gun culture and all like the fun things involved with it. It's not all about just stopping at deadly threats. There's some fun stuff involved in it too.
Mm-hmm. It's gotten me interested not just in shooting firearms, but I also want to learn tactical skills, survival skills.
Yeah.
We're outgoing individuals, so it's really easy for us to find the unusual things. Like a lot of people don't think. Like we went to an axe place recently, so we were throwing axes.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and then we also wanted to do, was it the bow and arrow? Archery? Yeah, we wanted to do archery.
Now, was that in the vlog, or did you forget the camera?
Well, we did vlog the axe.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Okay, so now I got to watch that one. Is it out yet?
When's that one coming out? It's not out yet. Yeah. Well, you know how it goes. I have a lot of, thankfully, I try to keep a lot of footage so I'll be able to keep up with putting vlogs out each week. Mm-hmm. And it's coming up soon, but we were just in Houston for our poker game with Stephanie. So that's going to be the most That's the one I'm about to release shortly.
Okay, that's going to be the most recent one, or the it's coming out. Okay, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I'm curious to see, because y'all be doing some fun stuff and just kind of exploring different moments and just kind of catching those moments in the vlog. I think that's the fun thing. It's like, oh wow, that I haven't seen that before. You know.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So let's talk about first guns. Now I know you said you've been into guns like your whole life. I don't know if you just recently purchased your first gun, or
I just recently purchased my second.
There you go. Congratulations. New member of the family. Let's go. And SweetieC, I know, or at least I feel like you just got your first gun not too long ago. Am I right?
Yeah, last year I got my first.
Yeah, that's not that long.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you get?
I got an EC9 Ruger. But okay. I was meant to get. I was thinking I was going to get the LC9 Ruger, but I just found one that was on sale, and then later I realized, oh, this ain't LC9, this is EC9.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I actually really wanted one of them. I can't remember which one it was, but it was like super small, fixed sights, blacked out sights, just like a just in case type gun size. That said, Crystal, what did you just get? What kind of gun, if you're comfortable?
What I just purchased was beautiful AR-15.
Okay. Nice. I love a good AR. AR.
Oh, and it is a great AR. Muzzle top.
Nice.
That's the name of the beauty.
There you go. Have you gotten a chance to shoot it yet?
Oh, I have. Nice. I have. I put at least 100 rounds through it.
Hey, there you go. Shoot, that previous interview guy was talking about, there's people who go around collecting guns and they never really shoot them. And that, it's like, come on, guys, like you got to get comfortable with the weapon. Because if you have to use it in a defensive situation, you need to be comfortable enough with it to, things happen. Guns jam, you got to reload, you have to understand how the weapon interacts so it can hopefully save your life and the life of others.
Yeah, that's why I believe in multiple guns. Because I know I have coworkers that like, why you need so many guns? And I'm like, well, why you have so many pairs of shoes? It's like you just need multiples because you just never know what could happen. And you want to just be prepared. You just can't depend on just one. Like you're saying, you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
So I feel the same with weapons.
Yeah. Somebody might say, you want to be able to have a weapon that fits a certain situation. Sometimes you can't carry a big Glock 17 or a big 1911 size handgun or something, full size. Sometimes you might need something a little smaller just to go with your outfit if you're going to conceal carry. Just kind of depends on what's going on, where you are at, what kind of threat you're dealing with. If for some reason your house is surrounded by 50 full-size people, I don't know if a little LC9 or EC9 is going to save your life. I mean, it could, but you want something for that situation. If you can get it, if you can afford it, if you can train with it, that's what's important.
Well, if you get an EC9, you definitely need to learn how to shoot it because you only have 7 rounds.
Or you can just do what the right way. Just go to a range and rent out the EC9 to make sure that's what you want to like.
There you go.
Don't be buying before you don't shoot.
Exactly. Shots fired.
No, I would agree to that. Now, I would say because this is a common mistake. People who aren't familiar with firearms will just go out and purchase the firearm based off of, someone's either how it looks or someone's advice,
Yeah.
And my bro advised me that, EC9 would be good for me, which it's a good pistol to practice with because I've had a lot of malfunctions with it. So I'm learning how to work through functions.
This is a good thing.
There could be pros and cons to it, but I enjoy my Ruger, my R1T. So
okay. Now, when it's time to upgrade into something that you really, really want, have you thought about what that might be, or are there maybe some options?
It's on hold right now. I'm just waiting for the phone call to pick it up. and I'll have my first Glock.
Which one?
19 MOS.
Okay, you gonna put a optic on it?
I don't know, because I'm getting different perspectives on optics. It's like either, it's good to have, but then some say it's better to practice not shooting with. I don't know what to do as far as that goes. I'm still.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Lou Tactical, she was just talking on her Instagram Live with somebody who basically exclusively shoots with optics. And he gave the pros and cons on why an optic might be good and why it might not be good. The long and short of it is, if you're going to shoot with an optic, you have to know basically how to do so. Like you have to kind of know some of the tricks. You actually have to practice with it, because if you don't practice with it, it's not going to do you any good. Just like with shooting irons. But they were saying that because of the way red dots are, it might be more beneficial to you, just in general, just for different reasons. I'm not going to get into them here. I'm not a red dot expert. That said, I've heard they're good, and I'm willing to try. I'm willing.
See how confusing it is? Some people be like, yeah, go for it. Some are just like...
I just say learn both ways. You want to do optics, cool, but make sure you just learn both ways. Because like I read somewhere, like in case the optics fail, like I guess they battery operated, you need to at least know how to go back to your old school way, which is the iron sight. So just do both.
Yeah, and
depend on one way.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just thinking that. I'm like, man, end of the world situation. We're out in the woods trying to survive for our lives or something like that. Something real apocalyptic. Like, what
zombies come?
Right. When the zombies come out, like, what are you going to do if for some reason your optic goes out 4 or 5 years later? Because they're supposed to last like 4 years. 5 years later, are you gonna be okay? Like, that said, or what if you get a gun, or a friend lends you a gun, or something happens that has an optic on it? Like, are you going to be able to shoot with that? So I think it's good to understand both ways, because it's a life-saving device, and if you should need it, however the weapon is configured, I need to know how to use it in basically whatever configuration. Yeah.
Right, because like you said, when an apocalypse comes, you're not going to be like, oh, no, I don't know how to shoot that. No, you're going to be trying to get whatever you can get your hands on to, stay alive. You're like, oh, wait, how you... It's not gonna.
If and when. It said if and when.
And that's the whole point. I wanted to start learning how to shoot, because it's like, until I started using firearms, I didn't really understand the importance of knowing how to use a firearm.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I get that.
And it's really, it's a really scary. It's really hard when you're taught not to use firearms. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was raised. I was raised, not to pick up a gun. And for a long time, I had fear of firearms.
Yeah. Well, I know, Crystal, you said, your family was a little bit different because of your family's occupation, military, that kind of lifestyle is a little bit different.
So my mom didn't like guns, but
she didn't like guns.
Yeah, I had to shoot them because she was military.
Right.
So I didn't grow up around them. I just liked them.
Okay. Just a little obsession, just there. Yeah. Just daydreaming in class, just thinking, oh man, that'd be nice.
Yeah, exactly. So when I finally bought my first one, I was excited.
Okay. Now, somebody might say, oh man, you're sitting in class, obsession over guns. Are you crazy? Are you a psycho? Just clear that up for everybody listening.
No, I'm not crazy. I grew up in a country with a bunch of non-melanated people, so.
Yeah. Well, that's
they love their guns, so.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with it, though. Ain't nothing wrong with liking a gun. As long as you're not trying to hurt somebody or yourself, there's nothing wrong with it. But, SweetieC, could you let me know? Could you just let everybody know? Like, I know you were talking about getting into guns and how you grew up in an environment where your mom and your dad or whoever was saying, like, don't touch guns. Guns are bad. Guns are dangerous. Talk about that, because I think a lot of us can really empathize with that or can relate, rather. But there's maybe a group of folks who really have no idea.
Well, to be honest, I come from a military background. Like my dad was in the military, but unfortunately he passed when I was 4 years old.
I'm sorry.
And then my mom, she's in the military, and my brother was in the military. So I'm the only one that chose not to go to the military. But my mom feels that everybody should go to the military for at least 2 years.
I didn't know they had 2-year terms.
They used to.
She feels like that's what she thinks. She thinks everyone should go to the military for at least 2 years just to gain experience.
I agree with that.
I don't disagree that it could be an awesome, life-changing a thing for a person.
Yeah. But as far as it's just my mom, she just even though she was in the military, she just wasn't a fan of firearms. Yeah. Plus she, with going to church is just like, you don't kill, and you shouldn't kill people. I'm not saying get a firearm to kill people, but it should be more
to initialize a threat.
Yeah.
If one happens to
we should be taught about how to defend ourselves, not to hurt anyone. That's not my purpose of using a firearm. It's just knowledge. It's just additional knowledge. Just like I want to learn how to swim or ride a bike, things like that. I think I should know how to shoot a firearm as well.
Exactly. Okay, so my next question, what is, I guess, the difference between, because, on my channel, we've been talking about like Black 2A, and some people might be like, what the heck is Black 2A? It's just the Second Amendment. Like, why y'all trying to make this a black thing? Do y'all hate white people? That's a good question, I suppose. Like, talk about it, SweetieC, because I feel like your perspective and my perspective may be similar, but maybe different. What is this Black 2A thing?
It's just black pro Second Amendment, black people who are pro the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
That's just it. I mean, I don't have nothing against 2A. I'd say, when I would say Black 2A, it's just like, it's a majority of black people. Yeah. That's what I refer to, Black 2A.
Okay. So in essence, like if you went to like a training class that's kind of targeted towards black folks, or a club targeted towards black folks, because I'm sure you would say this too, but what a lot of people don't know is, like you were saying earlier, there's such a stigma in black communities by and large about guns, because a lot of the folks who we see who have guns are gangsters and criminals and thugs. And even a lot of folks who do have guns keep it in the house unless it's time to go hunting. And, it's not, I guess, it's not encouraged, it's not talked about. So that's something that, I personally witnessed, and I've talked to a lot of folks who felt like, it's weird. I feel like, in other communities outside the black communities, guns are okay, but then when you come into that, into the world of, black folks, you're a thug if you have a gun or something. And that's a perception that a lot of people have.
Yeah, I feel like personally that's something that the non-melanated people, because if you look back like Malcolm X in them days in the Black Panthers, they had guns. They was for, but it's like when they tried to get their right to carry, they were denied. And so it's like, black people has pretty much been denied their right of 2A amongst the non-melanated people. Because I feel like blacks has always tried to have guns and carry guns, but non-melanated people will make it hard for us to get them, or you get them and then they'll take them away.
Yeah, and historically it had been that way. And now things have changed a little bit, or at least enough that people like you and me we can go get our LTCs or license to carry. We can get guns relatively easily. You do hear some stories of, I went into a gun store and somebody treated me funny, or they didn't run my background check, or different things. And it's like, what happened? Let's not go there, because they're acting spooky. Like, what the heck? But you're right. What a lot of people don't know is MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., he actually applied for a concealed carry, but he was denied. Why was he denied? Because the state that he was in they could just deny you for any reason. It's in their laws that they can just deny you. Completely unconstitutional, in my opinion. The fact that we have to apply for licenses to carry a weapon seems maybe unconstitutional as well. That said, I'm not going to get too far into it. just a little bit of knowledge. Even MLK wanted a gun, but he was the peaceful guy, right?
Mm-hmm. So why would a peaceful guy want a gun? Because at the end of the day, no matter how peaceful you are, you have people coming at you. Right. I mean, and you need to be able to defend yourself.
When MLK is walking home from his peaceful protest.
Oh my God.
Right.
And they got guns towards you.
Right. You know, when MLK is walking home at night from his peaceful protest and three dudes corner him in the alleyway, you know, 911's not going to get there. In fact, you might not be able to dial 911. It's just facts.
Matter of fact, 911 might be their buddy. Especially back then.
Especially back then. Obviously, today it's a little bit different. Everybody has their own character that, you know, is going to show up when the rubber hits the road. And that's something that we deal with where the perception of police officers, because of kind of what we've been seeing and because of maybe a lot of us have been treated in certain situations kind of rough, that, all the cops out there are a bunch of killers. I know some cops, and they're all like really great dudes. That said, let's talk about that a little bit with y'all. Like, what's y'all's personal experience been? Have you ever been pulled over? Have you ever had interactions with police? And how has that kind of played out, especially now that y'all have guns and y'all ride with guns and y'all ride into places with guns? Like, what's going on with that?
Well, luckily we haven't been pulled over with the guns, but I have definitely had my interaction with cops. Heck, I could have been a Sandra Bland because I went to school with her. And really? It happened in Waller County, and I happened to be on campus, and I noticed the cop kept putting his hand on the gun, and I'm just sitting there in the car. So I have definitely had my fair share with them people.
Okay. So well, let's talk a little bit more about that, if you don't mind sharing that experience. If not, we can do something else. But you said you got pulled over and the cop kind of kept shifting his hand.
Yeah, he kept putting his hand on the gun. I was like, why you keep putting your hand on the gun? Like, my hand, just like where you can see him and everything. And he just kept putting his hand there.
He wasn't like resting it or something, or?
It just seemed like he'll move it and put it, then he'll move it and he'll just put it. And I just felt very uncomfortable. I was like,
yeah, I mean, you know, facts is whether he was resting it or not, or if that's just a force of habit or something stupid.
Right, like, because if we were to do that, put our hands there, they'd be ready to fire 24 shots.
I mean, that is the unfortunate facts is oftentimes, at least it seems this way, and I've seen the other side where somebody does something stupid and the cop doesn't kill the black guy. But there have been situations where it's like, the guy was really, I mean, the hand disappeared and that's a big no-no, but no gun came out. And so, you know, we have mothers and sisters and fathers and brothers in the community crying out, being like, he wasn't even that kind of guy. He was a peaceful dude. Like, what happened? Why did he have to die?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I don't want to get too emotional because I feel like I'm getting a little hyped up over here, but
yeah. So I definitely know about Sandra Bland. I was like, that touched home. So I just try to avoid them at all costs. Because you really don't know. I don't know who's good, who's not, because they might seem like they're good just for that moment, and then the next day, you know, they'll show their true colors. You be like, I personally just try to away from
that's.
And I had a counter. I work nights. Well, I used to work nights. So it's like when I get off of work at 11, you know, that's when I would go to the grocery store. And this was pre-COVID. This is when I would go to the grocery store is, you know, when I get off work, because I tend to be a night owl person because I normally work during the day. And I was on my way to the grocery store and this officer pulled me over thinking, I don't know what they were thinking, but I guess they were trying to figure out why I was out so late. But that was my, that night, a cop pulled a gun on me.
Really?
Yeah. And
I know it's a scary experience.
It was a very scary experience because my hands were on the wheel. He's like, put your hands on the wheel. And he had the gun pointed. And then the other cop was like looking in my car. And it was really a scary experience. And I was really pissed off. And I went to work the next day and I was like, y'all can't believe, like, I got pulled over and I had a gun pointed at me. And they lied. They said they pulled me over because my license plate light wasn't on.
Wow.
And so I have a shop that I go to in Grand Prairie that they know me because I would always go to hook up my car because I'm into cars, fixing up cars and stuff. I'm into, low riders and all that good stuff, car clubs.
You got all sorts of hobbies.
So I would go there and I was like, yo, y'all, I got pulled over last night because they said my license plate light was out. And they're like, it wasn't out. After they checked it, they're like, it wasn't out. It was just dim and it needed cleaning. And they were just like, because they see me on a regular basis, they're like, we're not even going to charge you for checking your car. Wow. They apologized to me for me experiencing that because I'm a people person. Yeah, I'm like, people work late nights. You can't just assume everyone's out doing mischievous things.
Like I know you got dreadlocks, so automatically you're a dangerous person. But I'm being sarcastic because I grew up where children had dreadlocks. I grew up in the Virgin Islands, so it's like locks are a thing. Like it's not strange. But when I got up here, it became more apparent that certain folks, not all black folks and not all white folks, are uncomfortable with dreadlocks. It's not a color thing necessarily. It's like this weird culture shock.
Right.
There's a kid who was like suspended or told he couldn't graduate because he wanted to cut his locks. I'm like, yo, what is going on? It's just hair. It's just hair.
Too many stories like that. I've seen where a kid was trying to wrestle and he couldn't because he had locks, and so he let them people cut his hair just so he could wrestle. I'm like, this is just.
Now, let me say this, too.
Okay.
Like, that experience with the cop is not all the experiences I had with cop. I have had some very good experiences with police officers. So I'm not going to say that all cops are bad, but as far as when you just asked, have we ever experienced a situation? I have experienced a situation.
Yeah, because for me, I'm devastated hearing that. Just because I know for me, with the training that I've had, like if you're pointing a gun at me, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Exactly.
Regarding for myself, what you're about to do to me, or now what I have to do to protect myself.
Right.
So just kind of putting myself in your shoes. And obviously, if you got your hands on the steering wheel and some guy that you don't know is pointing a gun at you. I mean, if you pointed a gun at me now, it's a problem.
Right.
we automatically have a problem.
Exactly.
So obviously I am personally just extremely just saddened to hear that because, all my experiences with cops have been decent at worst and really good at best. Some jerk is like, oh, you're going a little fast and don't you know this? I think my worst experience with a cop was with a black female officer who was just kind of being real stern with me, and I didn't want to hear it just because I'm rebellious like that. But,
I will say the funniest moment. It was serious. I was riding to Louisiana with my homeboy at the time, and we got pulled over in some Louisiana country road, backwards town city. And so the cop came, and so my friend, he just automatically puts his hands out the window, and the cop is like, he get irritated. He's like, please put your hands back inside. He's like, I want you to know that I do not have no weapon or anything. He just kept his hands out the window. And so it was just funny. That's what he was doing. But it was like a real serious matter because, we didn't know what was going to happen. And the cops getting irritated because, this is around the time all these killings been happening. And so he just wanted to make sure, we got to our destination safely. And so he just kept, so that was like the funny part and he asked him to get out the car. And so I'm still sitting there because I had said, man, if he asked me to get the car, I'm just straight going to the ground. With my hand, I'm just straight. I'm going to just get out straight to the ground because I'm not going to play with them.
That's the thing.
You don't know what frame of mind they in.
that is something that I've been seeing and I've been wondering about is, okay, so we got the cops who they have to do their jobs. I know a lot of good cops, a lot of cops who are just there to help, a lot of cops who love Black folks, who love their communities and the neighborhoods that they serve. Like they're the real deal. Like
they really are.
They're the real deal. Like they would die for anyone, but especially you. You know, like because they're here to serve you. That said, there are some jerks out there, and it's like, yo, like you catch somebody on the wrong day, it could be bad. And so it's like, okay, I'm dealing with the two realities that there's some really, really great cops and some cops who have problems, like serious problems, and they shouldn't be cops, like seriously.
But my thing is, why won't the good cops call out the bad cops and weed out the bad apples? Because, all it takes is one bad apple to make everybody seem like the whole is ruined.
I'm not a cop to answer that.
They're not calling them out.
It
it
seems like it would be that simple.
Don't tell each other, but they want you to snitch on the next person, but they won't snitch on themselves. So it's like, are you really a good cop? Because you won't call out the bad ones.
It sounds like they live on planet Earth. Hypocrisy is part of the human experience. So,
man, that's a horrible experience.
Straight up hypocrisy. That said, it's like, okay, how do we balance being brave and asserting ourselves and having our dignity as people and not feeling like we got to jump on the floor and stick our hands out the steering wheel or be afraid or tremble when we're talking, because cops are just people. They got guns, I got guns. Like, what's the difference between me and you other than you have authority from the state?
They have a badge.
Well, I would say, I've talked to cops, and that's how I know there are good cops out there. I'm not going to front. I've had conversation with cops, with white cops, and I've asked them tough questions like, why do y'all behave this way? What's really going on within, your police force or however you want to call it. And basically, he just told me the truth. He just said, they're just trying to bring a lot of racists. They think by bringing white cops who never been around culture or around people of color, bringing those type of cops to the neighborhoods without formal training will help them learn how to be around and I guess they're supposed to learn how to be
compassionate.
I don't know what they're trying to learn.
Sympathy towards us. It's not working though.
It's like a training. They bring these cops that are from these rural areas that are used to just predominantly white areas to communities where there's multiple cultures, and they're trying to expose them to that community. But they're not realizing that these people have these mentalities or their thoughts in their head prior to coming to these communities, and they act on it versus actually getting to know the community first.
Now, what thoughts? Because that's kind of a vague statement, and people might wonder what you're talking about.
And I say that maybe they don't have thoughts. I don't know. They weren't raised around people of color to understand, like, not everybody is a thug. Not everybody. People just have normal issues. Just because their hair looks rough or their clothes is rough doesn't mean that they are out trying to commit a crime. You know what I'm saying? How many times Black folks wake up sometimes, we just put whatever on and we just go to the store. You know what I'm saying? We fix and run to the store, go back. That doesn't just to judge us based off of appearance. That's what you're doing. You're just judging based off of appearance. And that's not, you're not helping us by doing that. You know what I'm saying? You need to understand, not everyone's going to wake up with nice clothes on and the hair done all the time.
They don't even do that.
Exactly. So don't expect us to do it either.
I think that's a pretty human thing. Like I've lived all over with different types of folks, different cultures, different communities, including, predominantly white situations, whatever that means. Because really in being white, you could be a lot of different stuff. You can be Irish. You can be, you can actually be European, like actually European, because your skin looks white. People assume you're, whatever you are.
Right.
or whatever they assume, rather. So it's interesting to think like that. I did kind of want to pivot the conversation just a little bit, if that's all right. I wanted to talk a little bit about being a Black woman in America. You have guns. You know, I know we talked about like why you got into guns, but like let's look at it kind of from the lens of somebody who actually is a woman, because so far we've really kind of mostly talked to men. I suppose what are your concerns that you're like, okay, I need to carry the gun, or do you feel comfortable leaving it at home?
Well, right now we leaving it at home, but we getting into the process of starting to carry. We just want trying to get comfortable because I know anything can happen. Mm-hmm. But right now is fortunately, but that's about to change within the next week.
I just wanted, it's more of where's our society going? You know what I'm saying? That's why I want it. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm not thinking of it, oh, I'm a woman or a man. I'm thinking of it, I really feel like we need to learn how to use firearms for defensive reasons. We don't know what tomorrow may bring.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point. Because a lot of the times when folks are talking about gun rights, firearm rights, they're like, you know, the Black women are kind of the biggest block of folks who, you know, bought guns. They say, you know, 40% of the people who bought guns last year, Black folks. 60% of the folks who bought guns last year, women. Why? Because they want to feel safe.
Like we need to defend ourselves. We don't have anybody to defend us. Yeah. That's how I feel. For Black women, it's like, who do we have to defend us? Right. We only have ourselves, because we can't depend on anybody. We can't depend on a Black man to come save us. We can't depend on the cops. So we got to be able to defend for ourselves, because who do we have?
Unfortunately, there is a lot of single Black women out there who have responsibilities of, you know, taking care of their kids. They have sons, they have daughters. I'm just assuming that could be, you know, part of the reason too. Like she said, there's not enough people to actually protect us. So we're just saying, hey, let's just learn another way to protect us.
Yeah, that's big. Let's talk a little bit about the family structure, just because we went there. A lot of single Black mothers out there. Where is this education coming from to teach y'all how to, not just specifically you and you, but Black women as a whole? Where is this education coming from, and how are we going to transfer that education to the next generation? Because there's a lot of kids out there who the only guns they know is Call of Duty, and those guns couldn't hurt a fly.
I mean, thanks to social media, you know, it's a whole bunch of instructors. That's actually, I found who I went to for an instructor. I had went through social media, Texas Gun Academy. I had hit him up, and I took a lesson through him, and even got my license through him, and then caught up with Stephanie through the social media. My sister's Keeper's Defense, Tig.
Tig, friend of the show.
I followed her, and I heard about National Range Day, so I actually not from clubs, and I found about NAGA, and so I reached out to different people, and unfortunately the only one that reached back was the Houston Gun Arms. So that's why I ended up going to Houston to meet up on National Range Day with them, and then that's how I ended up with Henry Johnson. So that's how I feel like a lot of people find instructors is through social media. At least that's how I found mine, through good Instagram.
Yeah.
I went through Facebook, and I just saw something that caught my eye. I was like, ooh, I need to take that class. Like, if I'm going to be serious, if I'm going to purchase a firearm, you know, one thing my bro did say when I purchased a firearm, he did say you need to learn how to shoot it and you need to learn how to clean it. So I was like, well, I do want to carry legally. You know, I'm not like someone out here that's trying to break the laws or anything like that. Right. So I just decided to get my Texas license to carry. While I was there, Texas Law Shield showed up with a great deal to get insurance. Then I was like, you know what? I feel like I just need to join a gun club. And then I just checked social media. And then once I went to this gun club, it opened up doors to see that there's so many people out there who are really encouraging others to learn how to shoot safely. And I was just really excited to see that wasn't just men, there were ladies out there. And, you know, even my sister's keeper, I seen a YouTube video of hers, and I was like, I want to join her YouTube channel. And then they're like, no, she went to Instagram. I was like, oh. So, you know, it's just about word of mouth and just, you know, just talking with different members within your group, and you'll be able, they'll help you find somebody.
Man, 'cause I got my family on. They got my aunt has her license, and I definitely try to spread the word to everybody, especially Black women. Because I know I have a coworker. She's talking about her mom is going to get her a gun for her birthday. And I was like, well, you need to actually go to a range and shoot it. And I was like, well, once you get it, you need to actually practice with it. But you know, you can't get through to everybody. But word of mouth, social media, I feel like, you know, that's how people is. And then just going to the range, because, you know, you got the RSOs there that'll help you. You can get lessons there as well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Though I did want to ask, just on that previous question. I know you said you're passing that information on to like your moms and your aunts and, you know, people in your family. But how about the kids? Because, you know, how are they going to learn except that we tell them? Do y'all have any kids in your lives, or like, do you have any ideas on how we can, I guess, spread the knowledge from this generation to that next generation, should they need it?
Yeah, I feel like kids should go to the range with the parents. I tell my little cousins, like I know one time I went to Louisiana with my family. My little cousin came and she shot and she enjoyed it. So I feel like if families can get into it, the adults, and I feel like they should be able to take their kids so they can learn the gun safetyness. And I try to tell my friend, because she has a little daughter, to like try to teach her, you know, about gun safety and like. But you know, some parents feel like their kids too young or whatnot. I feel like they about 5 or 6. I feel like they old enough to start learning about gun safety.
Yeah, I mean, you could at least teach the 4 lessons. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have any kids. I don't really have a lot of young kids around me. So just through parents, you know, just through my friends who have kids, you know, I'm just trying to encourage the parents first to get them to learn how to use the firearms that they purchase, or before purchasing a firearm, you know, join us on our range days. And then I would add to it, you need to go ahead and start teaching your kids too, right?
So I'm saying they can all learn at the same time.
Yeah, learn at the same time. And I let them know, I was like, on range days, it's not just adults, there are kids there too. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't really show the kids on my YouTube channel, and I don't really want to show them because it can be, you know, a little controversy, and
it's just best to stay away from it.
Yeah, I just try to keep from showing kids on my YouTube channel, period, unless I really know the parent or the parents comfortable with their child on the YouTube.
Right.
Other than that, but there are kids there, and I let people know that, you know, there are kids there. And one of the suggestions, I think I forgot, it was Stephanie or it was Will. I heard someone talk saying Body Biotactical would train and have kids use the little Nerf guns to practice with. Mm-hmm. On how to shoot properly. So it's not actually using a firearm. So I just still encourage, you know, because they see it on TV at a young age. So you need to start showing them how to use it properly. So it's just word of mouth. Everything's right now is word of mouth, and just trying to encourage them, hey, just come out to the range first, and then you can see how these instructors will not just work with parents, but work with kids.
Yeah, that's so important. I'm glad you said that. Kind of a funny question. I got this from somebody else. Another Black guy. I was talking to him about the club that I go visit when I go out to Dallas, and because I'm part of the club, and they're like, "Oh, you part of a club? Okay." like like it was some sort of gang or something like a biker club or something like that. I'm like, what? So answer this, y'all. Y'all in a gang?
I'm not in gang, but let me just say something. Let me say something because you threw in the biker club. I mean, I got to show love to all the biker clubs. Shout out to all the biker clubs out there. They doing their thing. They're teaching people how to ride bikes safely as well. Just, close that out with that.
But I'm not part of no gang.
But as far as a gang, you can be a part of a gang on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can call your subscribers gang. I don't even know the meaning of gang anymore. It's just
right. Hey, gang.
Yeah. it's so loosely used. It's like, wow. I mean, I'm
a gang gonna put you like, yeah, I'm part of a legal gang. Like, but no, not no gang. I mean, anything negative, no.
To be honest, like I like Cardi B music, and so it's like I'm a party gang. I mean, what is that? I mean, I buy music and listen to it. I don't know what gangs are anymore. It's so loosely used now. But no, I'm not part of like a gang where you got jumped in to participate or anything like that. It's just a meetup. It's just like a regular meetup. You meet up for coffee, you enjoy, you want to talk about coffee, talk about coffee. You meet up to learn more about firearms and how to safely use them. It's a meetup. It's not a gang. It's a meetup.
For real, it almost feels kind of like a church picnic. Like
yeah.
Eating food, we're shooting guns. Like it's really not like that. We got some old folks, we got some young folks.
Yeah.
We got all sorts of folks, and we're just trying to have a good time, just shoot guns, exercise our rights, learn how to be better, how to be more proficient. And yeah.
It's like, so much you learn. I mean, you learn about radios there. It's not even all gun talk. It's just, you learn about radios. You find out people have businesses and you're like, oh, okay. So you own
It's more like a networking.
We're just networking and we just happen to enjoy shooting safely in a safe environment.
Right. Yeah, it's to me, I'm still like caught on like, did he really just say that? Did he really just ask me if I'm in a gang just because I said I'm in a gun club? Like, oh, if he sees this, I'm calling you out.
yeah, gang. Like what?
I mean,
like, you part of the NRA? Is that a gang?
So, man, okay. So, are y'all part of the National African American Gun Association?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me. I don't want to get too deep into that, but I guess what are some of the benefits of being a part of a group like that? Because there is the NRA, and NAGA is a little bit different. But do you guys have any thoughts on that or anything at all?
I don't even know the difference between like. Oh well, let me not say that. I don't really like to get into NRA because NRA has good courses available to learn how to shoot properly. Like they have good courses, USTCA. I mean, those are the things I look for when I'm not even part of the NRA, but I know with being part of NAGA, some members are part of the NRA, and we may be able to take some safety gun courses. Mm-hmm. So that's where the benefit comes in. I'm all about safety, and I appreciate that about the NRAs. They offer safety gun courses, and I appreciate that about USCCA. Appreciate that about anybody who offers safety gun courses. Benefits could be you may be able to find ways to get hooked up on ammo. I mean, you still got to pay for your ammo, but you may, find someone who can find better ammo. You receive knowledge about a lot of different things, not just firearms, but just survival tacticals. I think there's a trauma class we want to take. I would have never known about that if I wasn't part of a part of NAGA. It's just.
I mean, the fact is, just pivoting just a little bit. Medical and survival courses, a lot of folks would say, and I'm right there with them, that is just as important as knowing how to shoot your gun properly and carrying a weapon, is being able to protect yourself from bleeding out, if you exchange gunfire. Because in a world of he has a gun or she has a gun and I have a gun, and we're exchanging gunfire in the worst of situations, because I don't want to do that. But if it should happen, we're both probably going to get shot. So to know that I'm not going to just die there at the scene, unless it's, just that kind of day, because I can help myself to not, I can get the tourniquet. If I get shot in the hand or something, I'm not going to just bleed out. That's important. So I'm glad you guys are taking that class.
And they able to do it, they can help save you, because just in case, you can't use your hand, you have somebody that knows how to patch you up so that you could still live. So it's just best for everybody to try.
And that actually, I was watching an Instagram live with the guy who runs the Gladiator Guns Training Group, and he actually came upon an accident, basically, hopped out of his truck, brought his med kit, and attempted to assist. I don't think he had to do too much, but the fact that he was able to assist people in need, that's big. And I know in a world where we're trying to think about ourselves and self-care is the thing and don't care about nobody but yourself, that kind of mentality is starting to become more and more rare. But, there is something beautiful about being able to help yourself, your family, and, people in your community should they need you. So that's one of the big reasons why I carry. Is because I don't want nothing to happen to me. I don't want to have nothing happen to my family. And of course, in my community, not on my watch. You ain't about to shoot up my store. Not if I'm there.
Right.
You better find the next store. Like, get out of here.
Let me ask you a question. When did you start carrying, and how did you become comfortable with carrying?
Oh, man, there's two phases in my life where I personally started carrying. When I lived in Virginia a couple of years ago, I started carrying, and that was the first time. And I was like trying different belts and different holsters and, belly bands and Kydex and soft holsters. How did I feel comfortable? I watched a lot of YouTube videos because I didn't really have anybody around me to teach me. And then I had one friend that I could bounce ideas off of, because it's hard to find gun people sometimes, especially if you don't know where to look. And social media is big because there's a lot of people around who, they're like, hey, I'm here. I like guns. We're going to form a group. Black gun owners this, or, or just gun owners that, or gun owners of Texas. But to kind of finish the story, the reason why I got into it is I had a strange encounter at my apartment when I was back in college. And some guys knocked on the door late at night, had been drinking. They were looking for somebody. They were looking to cause trouble. One of them had a bat tucked under his shirt. I didn't know what it was. We were kind of scared, just because you don't know what's about to go down. It looked like one of the guys had actually got into it with the other guy, kind of beat him up. And dude was scared, came in the apartment, was like, hey, man, he's going to kill me. It's like, bro, I don't know what to do for you. You got to go. So, and after that, I was like, man, if they had decided to go crazy, if that was a gun that he had, like, we could have all been dead, and we wouldn't have been able to do a thing about it. Like, I gotta get like a taser or like a bat or a gun or something. I gotta get a gun, like something, cause there was 3 of us in there, but unfortunately, the way the world works is there's guns out there, and bad people are gonna get them. And the only thing we can really do about it is if they do something stupid, stop them. Just like that. No amount of gun laws are really going to stop bad people from getting a hold of things because they're determined. If you outlaw guns, he had a bat. You don't think he can kill me with a bat?
That's funny you say that, because I was just telling her earlier today, because how they trying to ban ARs and high capacity magazines. Please. And I was saying, well, they don't know, because okay, they do that. You can get archery, a bow and arrow. Folks see arrow, and then they can mass murder that way. So it's gonna be
that's how they kill folks.
They're gonna ban all bows and arrows now, because you can kill people by a mass amount of people by anything if you are skilled enough. And so it really doesn't matter.
Facts is, more people died last year from hands and feet. That's kind of been the big talking point from pro gun folks. But it's true. FBI statistics. If you trust the FBI for anything, trust them for some of their statistics, right?
Right.
Hands and feet, knocking somebody out, kicking somebody's skull in, killed more people than ARs last year. Now, every death is tragic.
Right.
Just first of all, I don't want to see no one die. I don't want to see no one die from a gun because I love firearms. I love helping people to express their rights and kind of the joy of shooting. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to see anybody get killed from guns because it makes us look bad. That's not even the most important thing. I don't want to see nobody die tragically. Die when it's your time, when you're good and old. That's what I want to see. Mm-hmm. But kind of getting back to it, it's like, okay, I was in that apartment. Some of my friends, we didn't really know how to fight. I mean, to a point, everybody can fight a little bit.
Right.
But like, we're not like trained boxers. We're not like jujitsu guys. We're just
do the Urkel.
Right. We're just some scrappy young dudes who maybe we could survive a bad attack from two guys. So I mean, just kind of fast forwarding a little bit. I was doing some research, looking it up, looking at all the gun guys on YouTube, looking at the Coleon Noirs and the Hickok 45s and Demolition Ranch and all the different stuff you could watch. Some no-name guys. And I was like, okay, well, I think I could get anything. Went to a pawn shop, went to some gun stores. And really, I actually settled in a pawn shop, got something that was pretty new, bought a Glock. I was looking at, I didn't have anybody to really guide me. So I was looking at the Taurus Judge, which shoots like shotgun type rounds. And anybody who's like a gun fanatic would be like, don't do that. But I was like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yes.
A pistol that shoots shotgun rounds, like, oh, that's cool, dude. But that's not a good idea. Don't do that.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I finally got it, and I was like, okay, I got the gun, and then I went to the range a bunch of times with my buddies. Even before I got my gun, I was going to the range and renting, and I got tired of renting. I got tired of spending $10. I'm a little cheap. I got tired of spending $10 for a gun or $20 for all the guns and buying their ammo and stuff because you can't bring your own ammo for their guns.
Right.
Come on, man. They could charge you whatever they want to charge you. Mm-hmm. So I got one. I was like, this is an investment. At least when I go to the range, I don't have to buy their ammo.
There you go.
And eventually I was like, shoot, I should probably at least get my concealed carry because, bad stuff happens. If I can carry it at least sometimes, like if I know I'm going on a trip or something, I could at least have it on me. And I didn't want to open carry. I just didn't feel comfortable doing that just because.
I feel like that brings a target on you.
It does. And I don't think even just the pearl clutchers, the Karens in Walmart, they might see you as some sort of threat and tell somebody you got a gun. And now if you tell somebody that guy's got a gun, like, do you think they're not going to come tackle you, get your gun? That's happened before. I've seen it on camera. They tackled this black man, took his gun from him, and they were lucky that no one got killed. Because if you tackle me and you try to take my gun, I'm going to have to stop you. Period. That's what has to happen. So I'm glad no one died because no one needed to die. But back to it. I go on these bunny trails and I just get lost.
It's all right. Now you good? Yeah.
Back to it. I got it and I was like, okay, let me get my license because one of the ranges it was a range / gun store. Mm-hmm. They had a bunch of classes. Beautiful state-of-the-art place, like big building with classrooms and gun range in the back with different indoor, but it had different courses and stuff and big gun store. It was really nice, real nice place. Open for Lynchburg, Virginia. That said, they were like, hey, we got a discount on the classes. It's like $30 to go. So me and my wife went and we both got the paperwork done. I went ahead and actually got the license and started trying to figure out how to safely carry, okay, this holster. And they was like, I'm real picky and I don't want to spend money on things I can't use, but I bought a few holsters. That's just going to happen. Yeah. Right now, I've settled on the T-Rex Arms appendix holster called the Raptor. I kind of want to switch over to a sidecar, maybe for certain situations, but I carry it appendix style now. Just I've learned how to do it in a way that's more comfortable. I always felt like my gun was showing when I carried it at 4 o'clock, like it was just peeking out my shirt, and I don't really want anybody to see until I need them to see. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, enough about me.
So what's up with this? Certain people don't like Glocks. Certain people are for Glocks. Kind of explain that to me.
I don't even know. Some people think they're ugly. Like I got a brother-in-law who thinks it's just kind of boxy and ugly. And I'm like, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world. And there's some that are prettier than others, but they're kind of like the iPhone of the gun world.
Okay.
Everybody's got them. Cops use them. Everybody uses them. That said, there are better guns out there. Like you get you a nice $2,000 Staccato 2011. Basically, it's an upgraded 1911. Those things are nice. They're smooth. They shoot great. The weight of the gun is really nice. The ergonomics on the handle, it's easier for you to shoot it accurately. I don't know. I just think because everybody loves them so much, you're going to have people who just hate them more than they really need to.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's just, it's like a Twilight, like Team Edward or, shoot. You can tell I don't watch Twilight. What's the other one?
I'm trying to think of his name. I can't. Jacob?
Jacob. Yeah, Jacob. Team Jacob.
Y'all in Twilight. Oh Lord.
That was a few years back, but it was in culture. And the same as like, oh man, like I carry an Android. I carry one of the nicer ones that I could afford at the time. I don't upgrade every year, but when I do, I try to get the nicest one I can get. That said, Apple, they put out a really nice phone, but people on Team Android, they hate Apples. Like, oh yeah, but when I started editing, I was like, shoot, I'll use a Mac if that means it's easier. So now I use a Mac for editing, but I use a Windows laptop for other stuff.
Yeah, I was against iPhones, but I got suckered in a few years ago and I haven't changed iPhones. I'm all iPhone.
Yeah, you see, and now you're probably like, oh, Android sucks.
No, actually, I don't. I like Androids, but it's just because I'm a content creator, it's easier for me to use an iPhone. And
really?
It has iMovie. When I started, iMovie was free. It came with your phone. It comes with your desktop or your, those features are free. So, hey.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
I have iPhone of the gun world because I have a Glock, so.
Exactly. And I do too. But, I have other stuff, but that's what I trust is my trusty Glock. Even when it does things that I don't like, I still trust it to do what it's supposed to do. I just assume, it's me. It's the ammo. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not you, it's me. So, let's talk a little bit about your content creation process because obviously there's a few of y'all out there, people who create content surrounding guns. It's said that YouTube isn't super friendly towards gun content. We could talk about that in a second, but kind of how's that been, I guess, in creating the content? Tell me a little bit about your process, not too much, and we'll go from there.
Well, I'm hearing that, YouTube may not be too friendly about, firearm content, but I also search and I see there's firearm content out there.
Yeah.
So I just emphasize safety, and also I don't want the focus just to be on firearms because there's a lot of things that we need to learn more than just how to shoot. I do feel we need to learn our survival skills as well. And just kind of, show you that I do more than just shoot firearms. I do have a life. I'm not, as much as I'm into shooting firearms, I enjoy, watching movies just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm into fitness. Definitely into fitness. I'm trying to promote fitness. I'm on a weight loss journey myself that I'm kind of been struggling with for a few years.
And fitness and guns go hand in hand.
Yes. I mean, so it's just, I want to include other stuff. I don't want my YouTube channel just to be solely focused on firearms, but I do want to make people aware that we're not out here just trying to shoot to harm people. We're just out here trying to learn how. Let me speak for myself and what I promote on my channel. I'm promoting safety first and letting people know that I was one of those people that was against firearms. I remember years ago, my coworker. I remember years ago, my coworker's like, Camille, you need SweetieC, you need to go shoot. You need to go shoot. And I was like, nah, I don't want to shoot. I ain't messing with no guns and these I have my little no. Look how that looks. I ain't touching it. I ain't touching it. I ain't doing it. That was a few years ago. That's how I was.
Man, you sound like everybody else. Like literally every conversation with somebody who hasn't shot a gun before and has, just isn't really interested. Will sound like that. And it's like, man, it's not as bad as you think. Like, I guess they watch all the fails and the stupid videos where somebody shoots a gun in an inappropriate way and the gun hits them or something like that. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'll never do that. It's like, first of all, you're not a bad person if you shoot a gun.
Right.
It's just a gun. It's not the devil. And, you're not going to hurt yourself unless you do something that violates the rules of safety. And those are very clear.
Right. So I had to, I feel bad a little bit now. I do feel bad because I hear, a lot of things like, look at all these people, they want to shoot their gun now and they all talking noise. I hear y'all, some of y'all talking, but, but you're right. They're right. I was one of those individuals. And
when you don't know, you don't know. Once you know better, you do better.
And that's why I'm encouraging people now, like, before you start talking, you probably just need to go out to a range and just see how it is first.
With somebody that know what they're doing.
Yes.
That's key number one.
And that's why I will encourage to join a gun club, not because it's, we're not gangsters out here. We just showing each other how to shoot properly. And since I've joined, I've learned a lot, and it's really not knowing is the danger. Not knowing is what's going to get somebody killed, because you're going to think you just pick up a firearm and you just know how to use it based off of what you've seen on a movie, and that is far from it.
Don't get me started on movies.
Oh, and that's another thing. I just watched the movie last night, and I'm over here looking like, look how she holding a gun.
I can't watch movies anymore. I can't watch movies anymore because they've ruined it. All this knowledge and just because when you hold a gun like this, that's so bad. That's not like it's like, oh, she's a 10-year vet on the police force and she's holding a gun like this. What? What?
Finger on the trigger.
Finger on the trigger. Flagging people. Oh my gosh.
It's like once you learn about it, you start watching shows and movies. It's like you can't even enjoy the movie or the show because you're too busy pointing out what they doing wrong.
And all I hear in my head is instructors saying, keep your gun pointed down. Keep your gun pointed down. I'm looking like, why is your gun pointed facing something? Just stop. Let me focus on the movie.
I know. And my favorite part is when they point their gun and it starts clicking, like click, 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 click. It's like, what is going on? What are you doing? Or even better, when they got a Glock, which Glocks don't have a hammer that you cock back to shoot it, and they cock it back. It's like, what?
What kind of Glock they have?
What kind of Glock? Ain't no Glock I ever seen. Oh man, this has been fun. I've really enjoyed talking with you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you guys taking some time and talking to the people.
Thank you for allowing us to come on your new poppin' show. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I think you're doing a great job. And
stop.
keep motivating us. Keep motivating us.
Had a blast.
Yeah. So just so people who got this far, where can people find you? I know you got it social, you got a YouTube, you got different stuff. Where can people find y'all?
Yeah, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, SweetieC. Encourage me. I need to check out my video too, where I broke down my Ruger EC9.
That's right. I actually saw that video.
Yeah, I was nervous because, when a lot of these gun gurus out here, and anyway, it could be a little intimidating because I'm new and I'm just trying to.
Sure, no, I get that. Shoot.
Trying to keep up with y'all.
Stop! You've been doing this longer than me.
But make sure you check out my YouTube channel, SweetieC, with me and Crystal on our 2A journey. And you can also follow me on Instagram, SweetieC.
SweetieC. Got you. Now, is that for both of y'all? Both of y'all are on there?
I'm on Instagram. I'm cry_Chris.
Cry_Chris.
On Instagram.
Yeah, she's more private on social media.
Yeah, I am very private.
A little bit more private, so people shouldn't just blow you up and try to follow you and stuff. Got you. Don't blow her up. Don't harass her.
You gotta request me, and then I will.
That's why I try to post a lot of her. So I don't just post for me. I try to include her posts so you can keep up with what she's doing. So
okay, there you go. I respect it. Thank you guys for coming on and watching Costly Conversations with SweetieC and Crystal. Thank you guys for coming on the show. We've had a great time, and hopefully people can learn something about y'all's experience and kind of where y'all are going. And I really hope they go and follow you guys and kind of see how your firearms journey goes, and maybe they'll be inspired by it and maybe go take a class, buy a gun, do something fun like that, right?
Exactly.
And we become instructors. You can actually take a class from us.
Is that something y'all want to do? Y'all want to become instructors?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We're not going to sign off right now. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
All right. So
we're RSOs now. We're
RSOs right now.
Yes.
What is an RSO?
Range safety officers.
Okay, so range safety officers, both of y'all. How was that process?
Easy. We did it through USCCA, and it's all online. You just watch some videos and take a test.
Pay attention.
Yeah. And then you print off your certificate once you finish all the videos. And it's at your own pace. Mm-hmm. So there's no time limit.
Do you feel like you learned something from those classes?
Definitely, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. I encourage get your certification. Even if you don't want to be an active RSO at the range.
You just learn a lot about the different aspects of how to run a range, and you can know what to look for. Because I know I do it as RSO. I don't participate as one when I'm at the range. Like, for instance, last night when we went for ladies' night, it was a guy. He had a malfunction, and so I was just looking to make sure as he was trying to fix it, his finger was off the trigger, and so it's like you just know what to look for, and how to keep yourself safe from others that don't know what they're doing. Right,
because if you go to the range enough, you're going to see somebody do something dumb. Somebody's going to fire a round, not hitting their target into the dirt or something stupid, hopefully. So clearly that's important, keeping yourself safe. Kind of like in driving. You drive for yourself, but you also drive to make sure nobody else does something stupid. So kind of just your awareness up, and even walking through life, especially when you carry a gun, or maybe even more when you're not carrying a gun. You got to be aware of what's going on. So there we go. So let's go ahead and actually sign off this time. Let's go ahead and sign off. This has been Costly Conversations with SweetieC and Crystal. Go look for them on their on the YouTube channel for SweetieC, and of course the Instagram page, SweetieC as well. She'll be posting a lot of Crystal's updates. Just kind of follow them on their firearms journey as they're getting better, kind of learning the different stuff. And go subscribe, follow them, help them grow the channel up, because there's people who can really benefit from it. And if you're not going to subscribe, go ahead and share it with somebody who could actually benefit from it. While you're at it, check the little thing below. Make sure y'all are actually subscribed. About 40% of y'all who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. If you got to the end of the video, you should definitely subscribe. So thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's been really fun making these videos, having these conversations, sharing the perspectives of people like SweetieC and Crystal. Just super happy that y'all were able to make it on the show. And I'm just honored that y'all could come on. It's from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. See you later.
Bye.